Hi everyone, Professor Cadney's here, and I just wanted to welcome you guys again to the course. You have completed week 1. Great job with that. If you have not yet completed the week and you're struggling with anything at all, please reach out to me by email and let me know how I can best help you. So I think that we're off to a really good start, and this is what I call the shout out video of the week. So every week I am going to let you guys know what's been going well during the week, any reminders that I have, and then shout out some individuals who have been doing a really good job or have some interesting ideas. Or are working on some skills that could really benefit other people. So it's great if you can watch this video first. That's a really good idea. And I'm always going to post the shout out video in the 98 section, but it will have some content from both 98 and 99. So it makes sense to watch the shout out video, do all your 99 work, and then do your 98 work. That's the way that you can kind of get the most out of the content, using the 99 to help you with the 98. If you have another way that works better for you, please feel free to do that. So just a couple of logistical reminders. When I'm grading your work, I'm giving you feedback in 3 different places sometimes, at least 2 and sometimes 3. So when you are interested in looking, hopefully you'll be interested in looking at my feedback, and there'll be a comment, and then there also will be feedback in the margins. So to view the feedback in the margins, you're going to click on grades, and then you're going to click on the assignment. And then there's like a little tiny bit of text that says view feedback, and you can click on that, and then you'll see your original document with my comments in the margins, as well as a narrative comment, like a little paragraph, maybe as small as a sentence and then as large as a paragraph, where I'm saying overall some things that I think could help you to improve, and some things that you're doing really well. So when we get to the essay writing process, there is also going to be a rubric, which I mentioned before, and the rubric is going to break down the categories that you're going to be graded in, and you can see how many points you got in each category. So that said, this week you have your first draft of an essay due, and it's an essay that's about your name. One of the benefits of the rough draft is that you are going to get 100 on that draft as long as you submit something. So you can submit whatever you want. Okay, let me just make that very clear, that when you have an essay draft, the more you can do, the better, because that will allow me to give more feedback to you. But let's say you have a really busy week and you just can't get to all of it, right? You can only get to a paragraph. Fine, just submit a paragraph. That's what I'll give you feedback on, and you'll see the grade that you would get if you did nothing else to it. Okay, and that's also an option for you. So you know your life, and if you did fine on the draft and you don't want to make any changes, you know what your grade would be, you just re-upload it, okay? So that's the way that we do drafts, and the reason for that is that I want this class to be about you growing the best you possibly can through my feedback. So I'm not really looking to like tank your grades if you mess something up. What I'm looking to do is help you to become the best writer you can be and help you grow a lot from the beginning to the end of the course. So that's why we do it that way. If you have questions about that, please do contact me. So I also wanted to just give a general comment about why we're working on narrative essays at the beginning. In part, I want to get to know who you are and your identity, and I want others in the class to begin to get to know that too. Another thing that's important about that is that when you're writing an essay of any sort for college and you're trying to build paragraphs in that essay, a lot of those paragraphs will be built narratively. In other words, your examples are going to be stories that you're telling from your own life, your own experience, or someone else's experience. So it makes sense to begin getting to know the narratives, how to write narratively in a way that's compelling, that's grammatically sound, and that's interesting and engaging for you as a writer, and then also for your reader. So that's why we're starting with narrative, and I hope that you'll have some fun with this assignment, writing about your name or the name of someone you love or know. or someone whose name you don't like. Really, it's as long as you're writing about a name, that's great. And I've talked with some of you. For example, I talked with Cassie about the option of she's going to be writing a little bit about her daughter, and maybe not at all focusing on the name, but still doing a narrative essay. So if you have a different idea that's still basically, on the theme, just let me know in advance, and we could definitely talk about you doing something that's a little more interesting to you if you have another thought about it. Okay, so that's the end of the reminder portion. I also wanted to say that there are some great comments in the mindfulness discussion, and I wanted to bring forth Zamora and Udali's points. And they had a little conversation about the idea of procrastination. And for some of you who mentioned that you struggle with procrastination, I sent a little link to an article. And there's an article that I like about this. It's from Forbes magazine. And it basically talks about the power of just getting started. So in terms of how minds work, if you've started a project, like an essay, and you've only written like the heading or one sentence, you're more likely to finish that project. And the reason is that in your brain is geared to fixate on things that are not finished. So if you start something, you're going to keep thinking about it and are more likely to come to the computer to keep working on it. If you don't start it at all, you're going to be maybe pushing it back. And another reason for procrastination is perfectionism. Maybe you want it to be really, really wonderful, and then you have trouble getting started because of that. So if that's the case, hopefully you'll learn throughout the course that what I'm looking from you is not at all perfection. It's just progress, and that my job is to help you. So I hope that you will take the risk and really get started with these pieces. Okay, so another really great part of the mindfulness discussion was Manelli's discussion of lists and how great it is for her in her busy life to make these lists to help to focus her in her life. So that is excellent too. Just a shout out of some other really great ideas. Sophia was talking about how she looked at the questions first before she completed the diagnostic reading assignment. I thought that was great. We're going to talk about that more as the semester goes on. Really good strategy. Patrick mentioned the idea of Sandra Cisneros talking about her name reminding her of a muddy color in conjunction with her race. And I just thought that was really interesting, that maybe there was some part of her that was thinking about the color brown and muddiness in relation to her own skin tone, perhaps in a subconscious way. She probably would say no, like maybe I don't think that she would say yes to that, but it's such an interesting point, and I liked that kind of level of creative thinking that really drew together what he saw in the video when his mind started thinking like, who is this person who's going to be writing this piece? What is she concerned about? What does she care about? And then what actually came out in the piece. So I just thought that was a really creative idea. So don't hesitate to reach, and anything that comes to your mind when there's a space for that, please answer the question in a way that is in sync with your own creative idea. So that was great. And then also I really liked Udali again was talking about the link between graffiti and tattoos and people's perceptions of graffiti as being linked to their perception of tattoos. So street art and body art being in some way connected and looked down upon, sometimes similarly. I think that's a cool perspective that I hadn't thought of either. So keep up the great thinking. Now, there are plenty more things that happened this week from many of you that I'm not sharing just because for the sake of time. I want to keep these shout outs probably around 10 minutes maximum, but I will try to shout out more each week to really validate some of the excellent work that you're doing already. And I also do want to say, in the background right now, I'm recording this video in my living room, and I have two twin boys who are just waking up from their nap. So that is what you hear, the crying that you hear in the background, talking about time management. I wanted to sneak in this video before I fed them from their nap. Okay, so they are very young boys. They're about 1 year old. Okay, everyone, great work this week. I'm so proud of you already. If you're struggling in any way, please let me know. I'm here to help you, and I can't wait to see what you do this week. All right.